And rising powerful being. Today I'm going to be talking about how to ride the wave of momentum and how to grow by letting the energy you cultivated that's helping you move forward, keep it going, right? Don't just start it. How to ride the wave of momentum. Okay, we're going to talk about the law of inertia. We're going to talk about how to actually, once you get the ball rolling, how to keep the ball rolling. Okay, so keep tapping with me about the law of momentum. Okay, so what is that? So there is a concept called inertia. It takes just a little bit of force to get the ball rolling. Once the ball starts rolling, all you got to do is make sure that nothing comes in the way of the ball to stop the flow, because then you have to restart it over. What happens with the start and stop is that a lot of times you have to keep putting forth the energy towards just getting it to go, rather than putting the energy towards getting it to go faster or getting it to go more efficiently. So keep listening to this episode of Ed Talks Daily. So this is a podcast, which means that it is available for you to listen to every day via your Apple Podcast app, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts. So if you have not yet subscribed to the podcast, go to edtalksdaily.com and pick your favorite platform that you like to listen on and subscribe. You can also subscribe to the mailing list if you're already listening on your podcast app. So if you have not subscribed yet, you want to get emails so you can be on point with it. I'm also going to be throwing in some bonuses, right? Some worksheets, some stuff I talk about. I'm going to put them all within the application when you actually go ahead and subscribe to the podcast via edtalksdaily.com. So this podcast is all about how do you grow in all aspects of your life? How do you solidify a healthy mindset, healthy body, healthy relationships that will lead to in-tune spirit, okay? So join me on this journey to becoming the best version of ourselves. So if you want a podcast that will motivate you, a podcast that will inspire you and educate you on ways to personally develop, Ed Talks Daily is for you, okay? Now, today I'm talking about the law of momentum. All right, so what do I mean? It's Friday and it's a new month, and you probably like your new moon, new month. I got some new energy, and I've been doing a lot of things that I said I was going to do in the beginning of January, but now I got the ball rolling. So now what happens for most people is this. When they get the ball rolling, they're scared that they're going to lose the ball. That's the first problem. It's not usually getting the ball rolling, yo. It's being scared that, oh man, the ball's going to stop rolling. And that in itself stops you in your track. Let me again give you an example. You start eating healthy, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, I might revert. You start working out, you're like, damn, I might revert. You start putting out the content, and you're like, damn, what if this happens? What if that? You what ifing all over yourself. Okay, you're not iffy. You're not an iffy person. So we got to get rid of that mentality. So usually it's looking at the possible demise that distracts you from putting in the actions. And then what else? So I'm saying we look at what can happen wrong. I want you to focus on what you need to do to make it go forward. So you're saying let go of self-doubt. Exactly. Let go of self-doubt. Your mind is going to come up and tell you, listen, oh yeah, you started this before, but you're not going to last. And that's a lie. Okay, you don't want your past self to lie to you. The more you keep that lie going is the more you're going to revert. Okay, your brain does this stuff. So you have to not just believe in yourself, you have to affirm that belief over time long enough. That means every single day you got to take another shower to watch the dirty thoughts that's obstructing your belief. So that means you have to say, hey, this is not something I'm doing for a day or a week. This is something I'm choosing to be my lifestyle. And I'm giving myself grace and space for the times that I don't do it like I think I should. And I'm going to keep readjusting. So guess what? To start does not mean to remain perfect and never have flaws. That's not what that means. A lot of people get it wrong. And it's not to, okay, I started, so I'm never going to have a bad day. It's not like I started, no. It's like, yo, I started, I might have a few bad days, but I know I'll be ready for it. I started, I might not be on the same track all of the time, but I know I'm going to get back on it even if I fall off track. Okay, quote unquote. All right. So you're like, why do I have to do this mindset work? Why should I do this mindset work? Here's what's happened. I know the forces that worketh against you. Shame, blame, guilt, and worry, right? So a lot of times we're shameful that we didn't do it in the past. We're shameful of where we're at. We're shameful of many different things. We blame past situations, past circumstances, past people, and we stay in the guilt of why didn't I been do it? We stay in the guilt of when we do fall off track. And so we have blame, shame, guilt, and then we worry about the future and thinking that the worst is going to happen rather than hoping, having faith to create the best. Faith is the substance in things hoped for. So now, instead of hoping that we're going to keep moving, instead of knowing that we're going to keep going regardless, a lot of times what we do is we worry about, a lot of times it said, oh, I'm worried about. No. Instead of saying I'm worried about, let's switch it to I'm focusing on. When you change what you focus on, you're focusing on, you're actually in the process of creation. When you are only giving attention to the worries of what may happen, can happen, but it's not definitely going to happen, then you're actually creating a space for you to actually fall back in that cycle. All right, so we don't want to give yourself space to fall back in the cycle of thinking, oh, this is the worst that's going to happen. All right, I want you to see your past and understand that, listen, in the past, you may have started and stopped, started and stopped, started and stopped, started and stopped, started and stopped. But now you're going to say, I'm making a dedication to a lifestyle. A lifestyle, you don't start and stop it. You might start and you might not do it exactly as you would like to do it, but you didn't necessarily stop. Because in your mind, you always readjust. So what I mean by that, you have to create habit and rituals that ingrain what you're doing into your mind. And it's not just habits and rituals, but habitual ways of thinking, ritual ways of priming yourself up. So habitual ways of thinking and ritual ways of priming yourself. So it's not just the habits and rituals that keep the habit going. Like, okay, I'm showing to the gym this much time, I'm eating this, but it's the way that you think about the food. It's the way that you think about movement. It's what pulls you to it. Most people will operate out of push motivation. By that I mean they operate out of pushing them to do stuff every day. That's the inertia that I said that you have to keep. Once you have to push, you have to exert so much force that you're almost forcing it. All right, when you have to force stuff, it could be very hard for you. But when you're pulled towards it, because you create a certain mentality about it, it's way different. So you're like, okay, I've always had to push myself to eat this type of food, and it always seems like I'm forcing it. That's the issue. You're pushing yourself to force yourself to eat it. But when you can't wait to have that vegetable juice in the morning because it's just you do it so repeatedly, it becomes part of your lifestyle. When you're like, I can't wait to have my bowl of fruits, or when you've learned the gourmet salad strategy, now it's completely different. In fact, if one of your habits that you've been looking to transform is eating healthily, and you listen to this podcast and you say, Ed, how do I make my salad more gourmet? I'm just eating the old iceberg lettuce ranch, boy, and it's not working for me. And you want to make your salad more gourmet, and you want to learn a beautiful salad recipe, text salad to 561-510-9605. Text salad to 561-510-9605. You're like, why should I do that? Once you text that number, you're going to get a recipe for a gourmet salad. Okay? So text salad to 561-510-9605. You're going to get a reply because you have to opt in, because it's a technology platform that allows me to send messages to many people. But you're going to get the salad, and then you're going to get daily inspirational messages just to keep you motivated throughout the process. So I said this is about building the momentum. One of the things that help us build momentum is not just the strategies, the habit and rituals that we have, but it's also the accountability. Okay? You have to find a way to keep yourself accountable for what you say you're going to do. This is integrity. Accountability is integrity. Staying in one with what you say you're going to do. And the way you do that is by checking in to see, have you reached the mark? Noticing when you don't reach the mark, not blame and shame keeps you in low vibrational states, which actually reverts you back. So I'm saying see it as it is, see what you've done, but don't blame and shame yourself to the point where you immobilize action. You're like, how do I do that? You have to look at yourself with compassion. It's almost like you stand outside and you sing. You're like, I can understand why you kind of did that. I kind of see your suffering. Like, you know how you could understand other people and you see why they're suffering, or like why they're eating that food or what happened. You have to be able to do the same thing for you. You have to be able to understand why it happened. You got to be able to acknowledge that it happened. And then just like the mother or father, you got to structure yourself so that you say, let me do better. But then blame is like, there's no let me do better. Shame and blame, there's no let me do better. It's just like, oh, I did wrong and I deserve this, and I'm going to stay in this, and I'm going to keep doing wrong. That's what shame is. It's like, I did wrong, I'm going to keep doing it, and because I deserve this, I'm no good, I'm never going to be good, and this is how I've always been. It's always been like this. Once you do that, you get yourself in a thought pattern that brings you to a low vibrational state. Thought patterns that keeps you in a low vibrational state blocks activity towards raising your vibration. So that means that staying in blame, shame, and guilt is one of the major reasons why people go back to revert their lifestyle. But when you have self-compassion, it is understanding from a spiritual perspective what you go through as a human that would cause you to be able to keep going through the cycles. And you're like, yo, are cycles good or bad? Cycles is literally a call for evolution. Cycles showcase to you what is repeating in your life. Just as cycles can be could actually bring you back, cycles can actually bring you forward. What if your cyclical nature was actually a way for nature to run its course? Wouldn't that be actually beneficial than when you think that it's actually nature hurting you? So let me give you an example. There are seasons. Sometimes it's really cold and during winter. So you got winter season, follows spring, follows summer, follows fall. Each of them has a reason. Now, what if we said, you know what, God, I don't want the cold. Forget the cold. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work. No, that has to come because the earth has to keep spinning. What if the earth does not spin, then all the parts of the earth don't get the sun. So even in the winter season of one equator, the other part of the earth is light. So this is the equilibrium called life. So that means even the dark times in your life has a purpose, and it's actually here for your evolution. So just when you transform your habits, your rituals, your mindset, it does not mean you're emitted from pain or suffering or tragedy or different stuff. It just means the way that you face it is different. You become the calm within the storm. Like I say, we all have times where we're sad, where we're depressed, where we feel lonely, when our hearts are broken. But if every season you look at it from the same vantage point, not from a different lens or a different growth, then it means that you're not growing through the cycles. Most people get hit by the cycles and they never evolved. Cycles are meant for our evolution. So now, the more you evolve, the different cycles you get into. So you're like, man, I've been going through this cycle of this. Now you find out that the problems you have, look, they say once you upgrade yourself, your problems upgrade. Now, let me give you an example. A peasant does not have the same, and I say a peasant does not have the same problems as a king. And this is just a terminology on the structure of a dynasty. So a peasant is not going to have the same problems as a king. A king is trying to figure out, how do I run this whole dynasty and make sure that other people don't come and steal what I've built for the people. A peasant is like, yo, how do I just feed myself today? Like, how do I keep the roof over my head? So that means, and that could be an example from when you step from your lower nature, survival, into your higher self, thriving. So at some point, you probably was focused on more of the carnal needs. And then at some point, you got that taken care of. You've evolved to where it's like spiritual needs. You're like, how do I get myself out here? How do I transcend all of this? So now you're having different problems. So before, you were actually in a cycle of toxicity and an environment that was not serving to you. Now, your problem is not, how do I get out of this toxic loop of these environment? Your thing is like, now how do I build community with powerful people? You're like, how do I actually add people to my team? So you face better problems that are actually opportunities for evolution, as you graduate through the cycles. So when you blame and guilt yourself, you don't graduate from the cycle, you repeat it again, because you didn't learn how to look at it from a vantage point. So I used to blame and shame myself for cycles until I grew out of them. Then I grew into a bigger evolution of ed. But when I used to shame myself, oh my goodness, it's happening again, not seeing the lesson and growing from it, it only repeated it. Okay, so real life examples. There was a time where I was like, yo, you know what? I need to be better at like showing up for the people I care about. And I'd be so focused on doing that, then I would feel blame and shame for not calling this person, not seeing this person, and I feel really bad about it. And I would just blame and shame myself and never call this person because I feel shameful or blaming for that. Evolution. I like that. So it's like, yo, and then I started to say, hey, how do I readjust? I ask myself a better question. Instead of blaming myself and say, you see, you never really pay attention, I said, how do I become more loving and attentive? So I started to put out certain things that I was going to actively do in order to do that, rather than blaming and shaming myself, because then I would feel so bad about it. Blame and shame, what it does is it hits up your courage wall. Blame and shame keeps you in so low vibration that your courage diminishes, and now you're not acting in what you need to act. To be more courageous, we have to step into empowering states of being. Now, one of the major things that I do to build up this energy is cultivation of it. So the way I breathe, the way I move, the words that I speak, the breathing, everything that I do is in conjunction with making sure that I am staying in a high vibration. High vibes only. A lot of people say high vibes only, but they got low vibes in their body. All right, so we don't want that. And the way we do that is by offense is one of the best ways for defense. So you're like, what do you mean by that? Offense is one of the best ways to defense. If you fortify, look, the acts that you take fortifies the wall to prevent things from intruding. So you're like, oh, what do I mean? Okay, you're like, I don't want to be depressed and sad and down and about every day. I've been there many times. So a lot of people, what they try to do is they try to close off so that they can be in the defense. But what you actually need to do is do the offense. Is do the things that keep you in joy. Is do the things that keep you feeling inspired. Is to do the things that actually reduces inflammation from your body. Like making sure you clear out toxins from your body. A lot of people are toxic because they're consuming a lot of white sugar, white animal fat, white dairy. So sugar, dairy, animal fat, salt, and fried foods. So you say the offense is, you know what, I don't want my body to be inflamed, so I'm going to eat more greens, vegetables, juices, fruits, and get more herbs. So you're doing offense, and by the very offense, you're transforming. Instead of feeling bad about having ice cream every day, create a sense of, look, you go and buy yourself certain foods that can be creamy, because when we feel like we need comfort and love, we want creamy. So you're like, what's the offense so that I don't eat something bad? Eat something good with the same texture. So now you substituted your need for gummy worms with a nature fruit that's just as the same texture. So you're like, oh, that's different. So now before you can feel bad about making a bad decision, you've replaced a good decision. You replace it with a good decision. Okay? So now you're like, okay, I need to find better ways of eating. I don't like my boring salad. How do I make it gourmet? That's why I dropped it. I was like, text salad to 561-510-9605. I have a great recipe that comes with the pesto, that comes with nuts, that comes with the spring mix, sweetie drop peppers, sweet peppers, red onions, olives, and many other, and sprouts, right? So if you want to get that salad, text salad to that number, okay? And I saw Soleil drop avocado salad. That's that good stuff, man. And you know that avocado is really good for the brain. So that's a superfood, actually. So you want to text salad to that number if you want it. It's a 561-510-9605. So I was saying this. It is your offense offense is also defense. So somebody says there's a lot of forces in the world that does not sit right. Every time I try to do this, there's another lockdown. Every time I try to do this, there's another variant. So and sometimes I get scared. So what's the offense? You fortify your courage by, first of all, building your immune system, one, creating such a way around you where you know what the truth about life is, so that way it doesn't scare you. So if you, like, I'm very scared, one of the things you want to do is fortify courage. Okay, so you want to find ways to be more courageous, and this is what we do. Okay, so how does that happen? Habits and rituals. All right, the way that you think, the way that you feel, the way that you, so your thoughts, your feeling, your mind, your body, your emotion, and your energies. Your mind, your body, your emotions, and your energy. So you're like, what do you mean? All right. So somebody says, I'm very anxious all of the time. How do I stop being anxious? Well, that's not the right question per se. The thing is, how do I create balance within? Now, when you ask yourself that question, you're not playing defense anymore. You're in offense. You're like, how's that offense? Because now you are saying, all right, I understand that I'm made of water, and if this water is all stirred up, I need to figure out how to make this water run more smoothly within me, so that I'm not pulled, I'm not boiled in many directions. I'm actually at ease. So you find ways to get that water to flow more effectively. So now you in a seeker mentality than a victim mentality, right? It's like, oh, how do I stop that from happening to me? You say, how do I happen for me in such a way that that does not even happen to me anymore? So somebody says, I always get in relationships where I feel used or where I feel abused. The question is, it's not how do I stop getting in relationships where I feel used and feel abused? How do I love myself more to get myself in spaces and relationships that serve both of us? How do I have the discernment to know what energies and what entities to deal with or to get in? Like, you have to figure that out. So you fortify your singleness so that way you can be better together with somebody else. Rather than figuring out how do you change the other person, you figure out how to create a certain energy in you to attract the right person. Right? So a lot of people then often will blame everybody else, but they never sit along to say, how do I make myself in such a way where I almost don't even get myself in these situations? So this is the different mentality. Because guess what? You can't change anybody else, but you can evolve as a being. You can't change them, but you can change. And if you want life to change, you have to change. If you want life to get better, you got to get better. So you're like, better is not something you just happen. Better is something you apply. It's applying your betterment. You're like, how do I apply my betterment? Your habits and rituals, the way you rise, the way you go through the day, the thoughts that you think, the environments you get into, the things you do with your hands, right? So it's going to be in your actions. It's going to be in what you are doing. Okay, so we're doing offense here. So a lot of people are defensive. They build up a wall trying to block anything from coming in. So my heart got broken. Now everybody is the devil. So now you don't even have the discernment to see if an angel is coming, because now you block everybody else. Because now it's like, I've been hurt. I'm hurt. I'm going to stay hurt. I'm going to put up a wall. Instead of healing from the hurt, growing from the hurt, and then creating yourself in such a way where you are going to attract something different. The law of attraction at work. So you're like, sometimes you need to isolate for the evolution of you, but it's not isolation saying nothing is going to intrude. It's isolation for saying I need some time to figure out what's really, who am I, what's in me. Okay, so right now it's February, hearts are getting broken left and right. However, you own your heart. Nobody owns it. Nobody has your heart in their hands. Your heart is in your chest. It's on your left side. So that means that your heart is in you. They're not in control of your heart. You are in control of your heart. So that means you have to learn how to heal your own heart. And you're like, how do I do that? Okay, the heart and the lungs work together. They're not just, the heart has to do with joy or sadness. Lung has to do with honor or grief. So now, when we have not learned how to let go and let God, when we stay in sadness, those two forces causes our chest to feel tight. Okay? And I see somebody in here does massage, not massage. Definitely check her out. And she just dropped the game on you. Because that's exactly using your hands to massage and relieve others of their pains. Now, if you are not blessed enough to be able to get a massage from Not, NHAT massage at Instagram, check out NHAT massage. If you're not in her town or in her city, or his town or her city, I'm not sure, you go and check it out, then you can do it to yourself. So you're saying, yes, self-massage. Wow. So you could massage yourself because your issues are stuck in your tissues. Your heart and your lungs is affected by sadness and grief. Now you're like, what's sadness and grief? A lot of people think grief is simply when you lose somebody. No, grief is when you lose anything. Not just the transformation from physical entity to spiritual being, but anything that you had that you don't have, because we find an identity in things we think we have. Somebody said, I had that person. No, you didn't have that person. They had themselves. You just was together. So actually, you never really had them. They were always just them. And you were always just you. Okay? So, you never really had them to begin with. You'd be like, oh, that's mine. You know, I've been saying that thing. That's mine. And that's the thing. We look at the people we deal with as in we possess them. So now when they're not in our lives, we feel like a piece of our life is no longer here. When the truth of the matter is, it's just that you're no longer in communion with this person. Or this person grew out of your life, or you grew out of their life. Or a mistake split you apart, and you realize that was just a mistake. I mistaken that. And I need to take a different perspective. So we're both moving forward, and we're moving forward. So now we are able to let go of attachments. Now when you aren't able to let go of attachment, this creates grief. So this is why breaking up feels like grief. So the heart and the lung works together because the lungs have to oxygenate the heart, the blood, and the blood then is pumped. So you're like, why do I feel so down? Well, because first of all, your lungs are not getting enough oxygen for your heart to distribute the oxygen through your blood cells to keep you vital and alive. So this is not just an emotional thing, it's a physical tension. So to restore balance to your physical, now you need some sort of therapies. Now we have massage. So I'm giving you a shout out, Not massage, NHAT massage. You know, I'm just growing you, helping you blow your business up. So, or go to your local massage practitioner to release the tension. Now you do breathing. This morning we did healing sounds for the heart and the lung during the Rising Prime, which is available on my YouTube, The Holistic Motivator. So go check out my YouTube. You'll be able to watch Rising Prime with a tribe. Very powerful session. It's like we went over 2 hours, which was pretty great. So make sure you go check that out. We really did the emotional release dances and the breathing patterns. So there are breathing exercises you can do, massage techniques you can, and then there are mental strategies, right? Learning to honor the experiences. Okay, so a lot of people, they grieve the experiences they had. Like I had that experience, and now that experience is no longer in its format. So I wish I had it. I'm going to stay focusing on how I had it, and instead of creating new ones. Some people can go back and treasure them and then say, okay, I treasured those experiences because I was able to have them once. Surely I can have them again. Guess what? I'm going to create myself in such a way where I'm able to re-experience this even at a better state. So now it's almost like you are honoring what was then, and then you're honoring yourself enough to create what you want rather than lingering, right? Instead of seeing the face of that person that you're no longer with, now you got to see the true face of yourself and understand that love is in you. Somebody said they broke my heart and took all the love I had in my body away. No, they did not. The love is in yourself. So how did they take your love? Oh, they stole my love and broke my heart. Nah, they didn't do that. They took their love with them and you with your own love. So now you have to identify your love because you are love, and this is called self-love. All right? So nobody gives you love. They can just be loving. Right? You don't give love to somebody. What, you're going to take the love from your heart and give it to them? No, you both are loving beings, and by being in that radiancy, you create a love, and love is now in the air. Okay, so now love is just, it's enhanced. So you don't give love or take love. Love is enhanced because you have it. A lot of people never really, well, they have the love. Let me not say it right. They have the love, but they're not tapped into it, and they're actually identifying obligation for love. And they say, you are obliged to do this for me, that for me, this for me, and they're calling it love. Love is not an obligation. It's something you get to do. So if I'm full of love, the only thing I can do is give you some of that love. That's why I give you some of this love daily, baby, because I'm full of it. So when you're full of love, you share it freely. So love is a sharing of what you have, not a demanding of what the other person has. This is called vampire mode. Give me all your energy. I want it now. I want your energy and I need it now. And if you're not giving it to me, I am not good by myself. No, you see, that is what they call this codependency. What else did they call that? They also call that, they say some people trauma bound. That's a toxic relationship. Like, yo, if you don't call me every day, then it means you're not loving. It means you don't love me. No, if you don't call me 5 times a day, it means you don't love me. No, it just means I have a life. It just means I have other things to tend to. Okay, so growth is being able to see it in many perspectives. Okay, so somebody says, well, all that sounds good, but at the end of the day, I still miss this person. I still miss this situation. Yes. Now, how do we treasure missing into honoring? We miss, we can honor. Now, somebody transcended from physical realm to a spiritual realm. Now, to say forget about them is horrible advice. I would never say that to you. Forget about them. No. Honor them. Keep their memory alive. Keep their life alive. Treasure their memory. And focus on being in such a way where your life is a beautiful, it's honoring of a person just by you living. You know how somebody is no longer in your life and they said, that's what he or she would have wanted. What they would have wanted is for you to be happy and in a good state. You know, anybody that really loves you, what they really want for you is they want your well-being to be good. So that means that once you are making sure that you're straight, your family's straight, the people you love around you straight, this in itself, you are honoring that person by being happy and good. So actually, sometimes it comes deeper than others when you really feel it. Feel it. That's good. It's good to feel it, you know, because now you're able to feel. You're able to re-experience it. That's why I say grieving can be a re-experiencing of the beautiful moments you experienced with somebody without shame, blame, or guilt, without thinking, well, I should have done that, I could have done that. No, just saying that the fact that they were here and I was with them, this is love. And I love that and I treasure it and I remember them. I honor them. I honor the memory of them and I'm honoring them with my life. And I'm going to move forward. I'm going to keep being strong and moving forward because I honor them. And because that's what they would have. We've heard that so many different times. So it's a different way of looking at it, right? So I'm saying that to say, because I don't know what season you're in. I don't know what's going into your life. When I feel a certain message, I want to share that with you. So in this season, you want to be able to do that. So you're like, okay, sometimes I feel like I'm in a slump. I can't get myself to get up out of bed. I'm stuck and I got so much stuff in me I want to reveal, but I want to do better, Ed. You're like, how do I stop thinking about this? All right. The thing is, we don't want to try to stop to think about something. We want to be so engaged in creating a life and creating something in this life that our very energies is being applied in such a way that we don't have to try to not to think about stuff. We're just thinking about the creations of what we're doing. We're focused on where we're growing to. All right, so that I have pain. I have a lot of stuff I can think about all day and stay in. I've lost certain people, but I'm not choosing to stay in that every day. Every day, I am choosing to create a mission. Every day, I'm choosing to do the best I can do. Every day, I'm looking to be more loving. I have some stuff that I have regrets, but every day, I'm focused on how do I actually be better, right? Turn your regrets into a standard. Let me say that again. Turn your regrets into a standard. Turn your I didn't do, I should have done, I could have done into I'm willing to do, I'm choosing to do, and now I'm doing. I could have done, I should have done, I would have done. I'm choosing to do, I'm willing to do, and I'm doing. So you're like, what's the difference? So now imagine if you said, man, I should have done that, I should have done this, I could have done that. Just focus on doing it. You're like, I wish it was that simple, Ed. Well, this kind of is that simple. You're like, but how do I get myself to, how do I get the ball rolling? It's all about your state of mind. So this is why I teach. This is why I do the rising prime. This is why I teach people how to do the Qigong. So you're like, what is would a run do it? Would a walk do it? Would being at the beach do it? Would the pool do it? All of that would do it. It's going to help you transform your state. It's the power, the way you move your body, the words you speak to yourself, the way that you think, your body, your mind, your emotion, and your energies. The first three creates the vitality of the fourth. So the way that your mind is, the way that your body is, and the way that your emotions are is going to dictate how your energies are, whether it's high or whether it's low. So you're like, oh, you mean to tell me I can start with my food, my movement, my thoughts, and that's going to transform my energy? The way that I look at where I'm going in life and what I'm creating? Yes, you can. That's where you start from. So you're like, habitual changes. So you mean to tell me the routine, the lifestyle shift is, you mean to tell me exercising is not just a way to get your booty to look good and get your abs on point and get those guns looking right. That's right. Exercising is not just about looking sexy. Exercise is about creating yourself inside of yourself a certain way. It's about burning off the stress. Cortisol is created when you're stressed. Exercise burns, utilize the cortisol. Look, turn your stress into fuel. Now, when you're highly anxious, you might have a lot of all types of stuff in your body, including cortisol, adrenaline, and all of that causes anxiety. But guess what? You actually can burn off some of that because this is fight or flight. By going for a run, you are now transforming what was anxiety into pain relief called endorphins. Because exercise releases endorphins and your brain secretes endorphins, which make you feel good. Doing something like exercise makes you also feel good about yourself because you're like, I'm the type of person that exercise. Look at me, I'm strong. Look at me, I'm a strong woman, strong man. I'm actually like that. Creates dopamine hits. Now you feel positive about yourself. It regulates the serotonin levels in your gut. 95% of the serotonin created in your gut membrane. So now if you exercise, you are then now eradicating toxins, serotonin production increase. So now you actually feel better. Now, when you take Prozac or anything for anxiety, depression, there are serotonin inhibitors, which means it's a chemical that helps you produce more serotonin. So if you exercise, that's your natural serotonin producer. So that means it's way more than how I look. It's going to be how you feel. Exercise also releases tension from muscle tissues when you do certain exercises that releases stagnations. And those stagnations allow your energy to flow, your blood to flow, and reduces the tension that houses the emotion. So somebody says, I can't get out of my head enough to do anything. Well, don't get into your head, get in your body. That's going to be the difference, okay? You're like, okay, all right, so you mean to tell me to reduce inflammation? Exactly. When you reduce inflammation, your mental health is going to be improved. So the reason why you fast is not to lose weight, but to reduce the inflammation in your body, to eradicate the toxins, the parasites. So somebody says, which one come first? Should I do the emotional release or fast first? You should do them simultaneously. If you do a 21-day fast and you journal, you tap in with your emotion, you exercise, you get in communities, you do personal development, I promise you, you can get yourself out of many ruts. In fact, I found out that actually, if you had cancer, if your heart just broke, if you want to lose weight, if you're trying to stop procrastinating, it all starts with a simple procedure. I'm going to give you the secret. Fast, which comes with a procedure, changing your diet, changing your exercise regimen, changing your thought patterns, changing the way you wake up, changing the way you sleep, changing the way you talk to yourself, changing the way the people you hang around. And then now having a bigger vision for your life creates an entire life shift. You're like to tell me that is the secret to so many shifts? Yes, literally, I can give that same blueprint to many different people, just with different details, and their lives will shift. You see people beating cancer, you see people beating anxiety, depression, you see people transforming. They were, oh, yo, I was actually depressed, now I'm not anymore, just from those minor shifts. And you're like, yo, you mean to tell me just those little things and my routine habit can transform it all? Yep. You're like, how do you know? I've seen the research, I've seen the testimonials, and I've seen it in myself. Whenever I need to make a shift, I detox, I fast. Because it's not just a physical process, it's a spiritual one. Somebody says, I'm like thin like a bone. They're like, I'm like a stick, and stones won't break my bones, but I'm still thin like one. I don't want to lose no more weight. Or I'm trying to keep that extra plush back there. I need to keep that booty looking right. And like, I don't want to lose no weight. No, listen, you're gonna get rid of the fats. You're gonna get rid of the parasites. It's an internal thing too. So a lot of people, they're scared. Listen, when you fast, you get yourself in a state where the ketogens, or the keto diet, people call it ketosis, right? And in that state, you use fat as fuel. Okay, I promise you, muscle looks better than fat. So even if you think that fasting is going to help you lose, is going to make you too skinny, it's actually going to refine your thickness. So for those people who don't want to lose nothing, you say, I want that booty to look right. Or for that guy who said, I wanted those I want that ab, I want my abs to look the same way, and my biceps and my chest to look strong. I don't want to lose any. Look, it's actually going to refine it. It's going to make you more what they call what's the word? Cut, or whatever other word is, lean. So for those of you who don't, it's gonna make you more lean. All right. Somebody says, I can't go without eating. Well, guess what? You don't have to. That's why I have a juice detox program, where you actually juice and you don't have to not eat anything. Only you juice, drink vegetable juice, herbs, and teas. Tried doing it before, but I couldn't do it. That's because you just ran right into it. So there's a process. There's a process to this. Okay, there's a 7-day process of learning how to let go, of changing up your routine. Once you do all of these things, and your space creates mess in your mind. The mess in your mind creates mess in your space. So if your mind is messy, clear your space to clear your mind. If you want to keep the space clean, clear your mind, and your space is going to stay clear. So you're like, what is that going to do? It's going to transform the feng shui of your room. There are energy blocks of your room once it's tied up, when there's so many things. Every day you wake up in a bad mood because your space creating a bad mood. So you got to change the space so you can change your life. Somebody says, I wake up pissed off every day. Are you looking at the picture of your ex? And subconsciously, you're like, oh yeah, the jacket. Throw the jacket away. Part of letting go is also throwing stuff away that reminds you of all of these people that pisses you off. So feng shui and cleaning your room off is not just about cleaning your space, but it's clearing. It's not cleaning, it's clearing. Clutter, clearing. So you want to get rid of the clutter that causes emotional clutter. So letting go. All right. So you're like, all of that is the process. Yeah. It's a life transformative process. It's a secret. It's the blueprint. It's not a secret, actually, but it is. Secrets are often not secrets. They're just common stuff that we take for granted. So start doing the simple things. It's the simple things that mattered. So you're like, bro, this is all very interesting, very useful stuff. How do I apply it? Well, okay, you can actually take this stuff, run and do it by yourself. You can actually, in fact, if you just go to edtalksdaily.com, you can go, I have like how to clutter clear. I have everything I just told you. I got it all. How to fast, how to detox. In fact, I kind of give it all to you for free. I did. And I guess that's a good thing, right? But if you want support and guidance, because this is where most people don't have it, is they don't have that extra support, right? They just try to do everything on their own. This is why you come to me. This is what I do. I'm a coach, and I have one-on-one coaching services. So I have something called holistic lifestyle coaching. I help you transform your lifestyle by helping you with certain strategies. Now, a lot of times, the limitations we set on ourselves are mental limitations. We have all the strategies, but we navigate through our own personal limitations. So what I do is I help you navigate through that by asking you the right questions that will allow you to reveal the answer to you. But in addition to giving you certain solutions to any other things, but I don't know how to do the blender. I don't have this. Well, how do I go around that? I have this. I help you with that. So right now I have a one-on-one consultation for the free. So just for 15 minutes, you can actually get a free 15-minute consultation. Now, all you have to do is go to my website, theholisticmotivator.com. And then a prompt is going to show up. Sign up, book your free 15-minute consultation. All right. Or if you just want to go straight to the booking page, theholisticmotivator.com/book. Free 15-minute life consult, holistic lifestyle consultation. And I'm going to help you, right? Whether you're looking to stop procrastinating, whether you're going through a heartbreak and you need some new routines to get out of the loop, whether you're going through a depressive moment or anxiety, or whether you're trying to grow your business and you need some new strategies. I put all of that together and I've called it holistic lifestyle coaching. So I pretty much give you everything, most of the stuff you can do for the free. Now, the movement, the breathing, I house that in a community. So you're like, I want to know the movement and breathing exercises. I want to know what I can do, the journaling prompts. That I put in a community, right? Called holisticlifestyletribe.com, where you're going to have all of this accessible. And I got the detox from day 1 to day 21, each individually. It tells you what you need to do, what the journal prompts are, everything detailed. You could follow it step by step. So now you don't have to try to piece things together, go from here, go there. You have everything housed in a place where you could tap into it, structure by structure, step by step. And that's what I provide, okay? So if you want access to that, after you get your call, go to theholisticmotivator.com, book 15-minute conversation with me, and then join the community, holisticlifestyletribe.com, and then you're going to get access to daily Rise and Prime sessions. Remember I told you routine and rituals. Yeah, you could go and try to do it on your own, but what if you got with a community of people to help you do that? Now you're getting the breathing, you're getting the movement, you're getting the exercise, you're getting all of it in one place. So I got that in Rise and Prime. So now you got Rise and Prime there. You have the stuff you do by yourself. You have the detox. And every time the seasons change, I have it in a way where you actually can do a seasonal detox. And we do it collectively. So you're not just doing a detox by yourself. You're doing a detox with the community. And you're like, why a whole community? Why can't I just do stuff alone? Because it's more, humans are community oriented. Like, we are made to be around other people. So when we are able to grow, when we're able to learn other people's stories, it keeps us inspired. Because we're like, oh, I'm not doing this alone. I could relate to that. So that's what a community builds. And you get to meet very powerful beings. And this is a mastermind, the communion of the minds. And then that helps you grow a whole lot. All right, so we got that in the format of that. So you get the Rise and Prime sessions, you get the detox, seasonal detox that you do, and then you get 2 coaching calls a week for free. I call them office hours. So every week you can come for 15 minutes, and anything that you want to discuss, you'll be able to. So now that's all underneath one subscription. So you mean to tell me that normally if you get a coach, you'd have to pay them, like, if you want to life coaching, right? You pay them one session you got to pay them for session. But if you get a group coaching program, you're going to get access to everything you need in addition to one-on-one sessions. So then I do that. You get to tap in with me. So if you think the podcast is empowering, what about a conversation? It's going to be way more better, because now we're one-on-one. I'm talking to you here. You get what I'm saying? So you're going to get that as part of the tribe. Now, I told you about the movement that you can do to help bring restoration to your life energies. So Qigong is mastering your life force energy. So I teach Qigong. I teach you how to breathe, move, and release tension with rotational joint movement exercises. I've housed all of those Qigong classes in the holisticlifestyletribe.com. So once you go there, you'll be able to tap into emotional release dance class. You'll be able to tap into slow moving exercises that raises your vibration and energies. I told you there are sounds that help bring restoration to the heart, the lung, the liver, the spleen, the kidneys. We did that today. So you learn all of these things, and you have access to the recordings of them. So let me repeat. You get Rising Prime sessions, daily Rising call. You get one-on-one coaching. You get, what else you get? You get the seasonal detox that you can also do on your own, and you get access to Qigong courses. So in addition to all of that, and there's more. Wait, that was PVC. Wait, there's more. In addition to all of that, y'all, guess what you get again? You get branding tips. Yo, I'm dropping the bomb. How to create content for your personal brand. How to turn your hobby into a profession. How to take what you love and make money from it. And how to grow your business by creating now. You've seen the videos, you've seen the marketing, you've seen all the systems I have set up. I help you with that. So now all underneath one house. And you're like, how much does all this cost? Like, I really want to get into that. I'll tell you, you don't even have to pay me anything. Try it free for 7 days. You're like, whoa, yes. That means you could get access to all of this free. All right, you're like, okay, I can try that. That means you're like, okay, I don't have any money right now. I didn't get paid yet. Cool. I feel you. So you just go holisticlifestyletribe.com, and then guess what? You get a free 7-day trial. Or you could text tribe to 561-510-9605. Okay, in fact, that's the best way to do it. Text tribe to 561-510-9605, y'all. And you're gonna get the link, and then you can start with the process on Monday. And once you're in the community, people like, I know who you are. I know your face. I know your name, and you're not a number. You're a human being. So that means that I communicate with you that way. That means that it's not a transaction. It's an investment. It's a community. So that's what makes me different from some other people, because they don't operate in the same way that I move. I operate with love and light. So that's kind of what I do. And I'm here to support people, not take advantage of them. So that's the integrity that I stand on that makes my product very effective. Okay? So go book that 15-minute talk with me. Let's talk about your goals and what you want to do. And let's keep growing, okay? So it's great that you booked the time. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you really soon. And if you have not booked the time yet, make sure you pick that 15 minutes. Look, if you're scared and you're like, I never did a coaching call or anything like that before, look, there's a first time for everything. And here's the thing. I don't bite. I don't judge. I don't bite. And it's going to be a pleasant conversation. I promise you. You're going to get way better. You get way more than you would think that you're going to lose. You're not going to lose anything. You're actually going to gain more than you're going to lose, which you don't lose anything. I don't think you're going to lose anything. So you want to make sure that you text, you go to the website and then text tribe to that number. Okay? Now, somebody said, okay, I don't know. I've not developed the courage yet, Ed, to talk to you one-on-one. I don't even know if I want to do the 7-day trial. I'm not ready for that either. Okay, last thing I'm going to tell you. Last thing, and then I got to go. Just try it out. One day. Monday. Come 7 a.m. Eastern time. Try it out on Zoom. or go to my YouTube. You're going to be able to watch it live. It's either you get in the room and be able to be in the space, or you could just watch from afar. And all you have to do is go to riseandprime.co. That's riseandprime.co, http://riseandprime.co. And then you'll be able to get an Eventbrite link to the next Rise and Prime. And then just let that communicate to you. If you say like, well, I could really rock with this, move on from there. Okay. If not, then so be it. Just tap into the podcast, edtalksdaily.com. So this is a podcast. Make sure you subscribe to it. Shout out to Soleil for leaving a beautiful review yesterday on my website. I appreciate that. And if you've been listening to me live, you've listened to the podcast already, even if it's not on your app. Okay. So I want to give a special shout out to you, Queen, for leaving that review. And actually, I want to read that review so that way everybody who's listening, they can actually be able to tap in to what you said about it. And then it's a way of shouting you out, Soleil, for doing it. And then also, it's a way for me to let everybody listening that I would really appreciate it if you left a review, either on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Because listen, it's already global, man. This stuff is in the UK, Jamaica, it's in Africa. Like, Ed Talks Daily is global. I get people from all around the world. So we want to make it more global because the world needs this. Suicide rates have went up. A lot of things are going really bad for some people. So this is why I choose to be a light. So when you leave a review, you're like, oh, I'm just leaving a review. No, you are actually supporting my entire mission. You have no idea how big of a deal that is to me. So people who leave a review, I really appreciate that to the max. Okay. So shout out to you, Soleil, for leaving me a review. And is that all the call to actions I have? I got a lot for y'all. And then shout out to you also for donating. Right? She listens to the podcast one time. She left a review and she donated. And some people listen to the podcast for a whole year. They ain't never done one. So I got to tell you, you don't understand how powerful that is. That means that this is the law of reciprocity. So people who invest in my stuff, I have an ear to help you more. Because it's like, oh, you support me. Not just by words, but you left the review. But you donated. But you did something to help progress the mission. Okay? So shout out to Soleil. Of course, I got to hype it up. I got to hype it up. I got to let y'all know what's going on because this is what I do, man. This is my life. This is my mission. This is my company. This is my business. This is what I do. So shout out to you, Soleil, for doing that and leaving that review. I'd love to put it up, In fact, we're going to do that just before we go. I'm about to pull up the review. Shout out to everybody listening now. I want to thank y'all for being here. Appreciate you for commenting, Soleil. This is some good stuff. And I'm just going to keep doing it because it's, like I always say, the world needs your gift. And your gift is actually a solution to somebody else's problem. And this rising, I was like, yo, what's your business? You are your first business, whether you realize it or not. And that's just the things you're passionate about, the things you do so naturally and effortlessly that you don't even have to try, the things that you love every day. You get what I'm saying? So once you start to know that, then you step into that and you just do that. Okay. And the more you do it, you just get way better at it. That's the secret. Consistency. How many times you heard the word consistency is key? Trust me. Consistency is key. So if you got a momentum going right now, tomorrow, what are you going to do? Write down in the comments. You got a momentum. You got the momentum going, okay? You woke up earlier today. You started eating better. You started moving. You started thinking better. Your emotions are actually much more in alignment with how you want to be. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to act that out again. What are you going to do? You're going to get in that state again. Okay? You're going to keep improving. Soleil said, just be better than I was the day before. Exactly. Okay? So you just keep it up. That's it right there. Abaya, good to see you. Talented people, beautiful souls in the building. I'm telling you, the game, like the shakers and movers. That's what I like about the tribe too, man. I get to meet some really empowering people. Some people with great missions, and like for me, I never see. Some people will be like, "Oh, this is where you're at." I see people on the basis of their spirit and their true. The people who are authentic. Those are the people I like the most. Authentic folks. I love those people because if somebody keeps it real with you, keep them around you corner, because real is not common nowadays, bro. Everybody put on a mask. That's what about my podcast. I be talking about some stuff that I'd be like, dang, Ed, you be talking about everything. I'll be like, okay, so I'm talking about it because the world needs the truth. And at the same time, I love to tell the people how it is, how it really is, because that's what resonates with them and with me. So I tend to come across those same people, and some of the people who are not in that same vibe, they don't be staying too long in my corner, and that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? You attract the same light, and you repel the opposite. I ain't even lying. Okay, so I appreciate everybody who's been part of the tribe so far. Make sure you text Ed Talks to 561-510-9605. Or tribe or salad, whichever one, so you stay in contact. And before I go, let me just pull up Soleil's review right there. Boom. I'm gonna give a shout out to Soleil on Instagram, DADLI Sun. All right, so she gave a 5-star review. See that? These words resonate with me so deeply that I had to take notes that I know I'll be referring to for the rest of my life. I think everyone needs to hear this. All the artists, healers, and feelers of the world. I've learned in such a short time to appreciate the hardships I experience because they serve a bigger purpose. Things are working in my favor and not against me. So grateful for this message. That's right. That's beautiful. I'm telling you that. Every episode was from a point of my own pain, right? So when I put that out there, some people think like, I'm just trying to motivate you. I'm literally telling you a piece of my life story. I'm telling you what I went through. I'm telling you how I went through it. When I be like, oh, these are the 5, like yesterday I was doing an episode, 6 ways to have a peaceful day. And then I realized every way I was saying was everything I had did, and I was in such a good mood. And I was like, oh, snap. That's really deep. I really didn't make up anything that I didn't just do. I literally just expressed to you what worked for me. I'm like, that's what's up. Because now I am becoming a representation of whatever it is that you preach. So teach what you have stepped into. So the healers, the teachers, the seekers of the world, you don't have to recreate, like you think you need so much more. No, you just need to teach what you do so naturally and effortlessly. That's all I'm doing. I'm talking about like all of these things are things I experienced. I'm talking about the routine. This is how you wake. I'm talking about the juicing, because I've been depressed. I went through so much grief, and all of these things help me. And I'm like, oh, all I got to do is just talk about them, and then I found out other people was like, yo, I started applying that and it worked for me. And I'm like, whoa, that's so deep. And I realized that the book that you write is with your life. God, let me repeat that again. The book that you write is with your life, but some of you're holding in the book, but you're not sharing it. So you create a brand to share out the book that you're writing out with your life. Some people, they just take that and put it in a book, and now they got a brand. Even if you don't have nothing else, you can actually write down the things you learned, and that in itself becomes the product. So I think everybody should write a book. Everybody should write a book about what you learned. Okay? All right. Everybody should write a book about you learn. So, Soleil, you're not gonna be holding in all that sunlight. All right. Soleil, such a beautiful name. That's French for sun. Okay.